Brady. icebreaker for like each day. Because we already had that one in the third, in the middle, for the toilet paper. We don't want to hear. We can use that all the That's like one of the nice ones we get to do. Yeah, but that's what we do. We can do this like, we can do that. And we do like the volleyball. Yeah, we can do that. And then we'll do a roller coaster as well.
Perry! Walking once again to the island. And how about, Perry, we start this with one quick icebreaker.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, turn your attention up here. We got a game for you guys. Tell them what the game is here. What game are we playing?
We're going to play the blow your ears off game.
Yeah, I like the sound of that. Explain what that is.
It's really simple. We're going to send one of the program guys to the middle. And both teams,
both the
red and blue
teams,
have to surround that program guy and scream on his ears.
As loud as they can.
As loud as they can.
For as long as they can.
For as long as they can.
All right.
Because the loudest team will win.
We'll win this icebreaker. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pretty self-explanatory game. Edric, we need you up here right now. Edric, run to the middle. Run up there, up the alley. Make way for Edric. He's coming in. So when he reaches the middle, people, you got to surround him on Eric's go. You guys are getting as loud as possible for your team.
Oh, my mark. 3, 2, 1, go!
People, I can't hear you. I cannot hear you.
All right.
Keep going. Keep going.
All right, Edric, come.
Keep going.
All right. All right.
All right, that's good. That is good. Ladies and gentlemen, cut.
Anthony Bang.
Cut. You guys can head back.
All right.
Edric is bleeding. He's bleeding out of his eardrum. And it goes to the blue team. The blue team, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Congratulations, blue team. They were just a little bit louder than the red team.
Wow, that was amazing.
So close, though.
Now,
so
Perry,
close.
you know what's better than the game blow your ear off?
No, I don't.
A wave.
A wave.
A wave.
Oh, my.
So why don't we start with the red team?
All right, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. We'll start low. We'll set the bar low with the red team, and then the blue team will do better.
Correct.
After.
So, red team, at the count of 3, we're going to start a wave from the front all the way to the back, and from the back all the way to the front.
And you guys are going to send it back. So we need all of you down. Blue team, you guys can do your own thing because it's just the red team right now.
It's just the red team. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go! Bring it back.
Send it back. Send it back.
Bring it back.
Whoa.
Wait, Perry. Wait for it.
No! One more time. One more time.
And bring it back. Oh.
Whoa.
Wow, that was great.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Now let's try with the blue team.
All right, blue team. Blue team, show them how it's done over here. You guys ready?
In 3, 2, 1,
go! Whoa!
Wow.
Wow.
That was amazing.
That was definitely
Perry,
better.
Do you know what's better than a wave?
What is better than a wave?
A roller coaster.
A roller coaster? Oh my.
So, people, real quick, pull your seatbelt on, strap on, because we're going to go on a roller coaster.
She didn't strap in. You got to strap in.
All right, so
strap into your roller
coaster. We're going to go up real quick. We're going to go up.
Whoa.
Everybody going up. Going down. To the left. Whoa. To the right. Whoa. All right, now we're back up. Get ready because we're going to go fast. Hands up. Down. Whoa. Perfect.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I'm out of breath.
That was amazing. Now people count with us in.
Blue team.
20.
Blue team.
5.
Blue
30,
team. Blue team.
10. 9.
2.
4.
Blue team.
3.
You feel dead.
I'm afraid! All right? You want to hear me say it? You want to break me down? All right, I'm afraid.
Let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Nameless, unreasoning, unjustified terror.
Don't look back into the dark. Follow me on down through the shadows. Take my hand as we wade through the shadows. To the end, yeah. Follow me
dawned on me. Fear is not real. place that fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination, causing us to fear things that do not at present and may not ever exist. Do not misunderstand me. Danger is very real, but fear is a choice.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 2017 on Word of Life Island. Welcome. Finally, you're here on the island. It's been 348 long days, but you're back here. I got some announcements for you today. I want to tell you about some of the stuff that we have going on this week. But before we get to any of that, I need to introduce you to some very, very important people that are going to be here all week long. The first group of people, they work so hard every single day, all night long. They are your greatest ally, your best friend. They're here all week just for you. They are professionals on Word of Life Island, all things fun. They know exactly where to be and what to do. They know the tricks of the trade. They are about to be graduates of the Word of Life Bible Institute. Ladies and gentlemen, the people that I am talking about right now are your counselors. That's right. They are an insane, but a good insane. Like a very positive, insane group of people that are here for you this week. The second group of people that I want to tell you about, they are here all week long. They are behind the scenes. They are the wheels that make Word of Life Island go. They work so hard making sure that the beach is guarded, making sure that the grass is cut, making sure that you're safe on the ropes course, making sure that the bathrooms are clean, making sure that the kitchen, that the food is cooked and the plates are clean, and making sure that the sound comes on and the lights work, and driving the boats and running paintball and everything else in between. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about your camp crew. That's right. The camp crew are here. They are students just like you that are here all summer long, start to finish, and they are here working to make camp happen for you. So when you see somebody this week who's on camp crew, you might see them with a blue shirt that says camp crew. Give them a high five and say, thank you for making Word of Life Island possible for me to be here this summer. The third and final group of people that I want to introduce to you right now, they are actually ridiculous, and they are not too responsible, but they are here all week long making sure that you have a ton of fun. They are in charge of all things hype. They are a crazy group of people that are going to be at all the activities. They are going to be driving the red versus blue competition. They're responsible for all the sports tournaments this week. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the program team. That's right. They are crazy, and they are here for you to make sure that we have a lot of fun this week. That's it for our introductions for now. I want to tell you about some of the activities that we have going on this week. A brand new activity that we just got on Word of Life Island this summer called Escape the Room. Escape the Room. I don't know if you guys have seen one of these or done this before in the mall, but you go into a room and then you have to solve puzzles and riddles and use all the parts of the room to try to figure out all the different things and escape from the room. That is on Top of the Rock. It's brand new. You can do it one of two ways. You can sign up at the office and do it during free time, or you can do it at night when Top of the Rock is open. First come, first serve at Top of the Rock. So make sure tonight there will be program guys in Top of the Rock, and you will have the opportunity to try escape from the room if you want. They will be there. I promise you that. Also, the Ninja Warrior course is back this summer. The Ninja Warrior course, the finals are going to happen on Thursday morning, so make sure you practice. We changed up some of the features, so it is just as awesome but new and exciting. So go over there, get practice up, because Thursday morning we are going to have the Ninja Warrior finals happening in the field. And then finally,
It is an island classic. It's been around for years, but it's worth mentioning even still. I'm talking about the water slide. Who in here has done the water slide before? Yes. By the end of the week, every single hand needs to go up because this is not your average backyard water slide. This is an incredible, custom, super high-speed water slide, and it is one of a kind. So make sure at some point this week you get to the beach and do the water slide. And here's the best part. First of all, it's 100% free. That's right, 100% free. It costs $3 to do the water slide. Second best thing about it, you don't have to pass the swim test. So anybody, you don't have to pass the swim test, and you don't have to pass the swim test, and everybody can go down the water slide. You don't have to pass the swim test at all. It doesn't matter if you know how to swim or you don't know how to swim or you think you know how to swim. Anybody and everybody, regardless of your inability or ability to swim, can go down the water slide this week. And last activity that we're going to talk about tonight, we brought it back last year. It's called mountain biking, but we have even better trails, even better bikes, and to prove it, check out this video of mountain biking on Word of Life Island.
This is how it's gonna be. This is what you think of me. It's going down like I told you. This is how it's gonna be. I'll be the last man standing here. I'm not going anywhere. It's going down like I told you. I'll be the last man standing here. What you gonna do? I'm gonna rock you. What you gonna do? I'm gonna rock you. What you gonna do? I'm gonna rock you. I'll have you begging for mercy, begging for mercy. Oh, I'm dangerous. So dangerous. I'm dangerous. So dangerous.
That's right, and that is right here on Word of Life Island. All of those trails are right here. Look at this right here. These are the mountain bikes that you can be riding. Oh my goodness. They landed it. Look at these bikes right here with the seat dropper. Come sign up for mountain biking at the office. You can ride on those trails. Those trails that are in the video are here on Word of Life Island. Like that's actually of the island. I think people were confused about that. That's actually the real island. Those are the trails. And doesn't matter if you are a professional bike rider or you've never ridden a bike before in your life. Maybe actually you should have ridden a bike before, but it doesn't matter if you're a professional mountain bike rider or you're just a casual bike rider. You can have a lot of fun on our mountain bike trails. Sign up at the office for mountain biking. You won't regret it. Right, Lindsay? Tonight's schedule on Top of the Rock. Ladies and gentlemen, Top of the Rock is going to be open tonight, including the world-famous Word of Life Island Camp Store, ladies and gentlemen. The Camp Store will be open. You can get all of your Word of Life Island t-shirts and sweatshirts and water bottles and backpacks and sweatpants. You can get all kinds of crazy Word of Life Island gear at the Camp Store. Everything in there is brand new. It's awesome. It's a great night for new clothes. Who doesn't want new clothes on a night like tonight? And then after you go to the Camp Store, you can go right across the road and you can get a nice, cold drink at everybody's favorite spot on top of the rock. You already know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the coffee house. You can get a nice cold frappuccino or a nice hot cup of coffee. It doesn't matter either way. If you want it hot or you want it cold, you can get some caffeine tonight. Or you can stop in at the Snack Shack. Right. That's right. Stop in tonight and get something to drink, get something to eat. There's all kinds of awesome stuff up there. You know where? For sale. Also tonight on the patio is Sunday. Sunday, all night, $2 for a Sunday tonight on the patio. A special deal. Awesome first night. We want to make sure that you get as much ice cream as you want. So it's Sunday on the patio tonight. That is what's going on tonight. Top of the Rock will be open. Escape the Room will be open. There's all kinds of stuff happening. But tomorrow morning, who in here is going for Cabin of the Week? If you want to go for Cabin of the Week, which I highly suggest, because if you win Cabin of the Week, you will get a free Boathouse Bash on Friday night after everybody else has gone to bed. You will be partying in the Boathouse with the program guys up for completely free. But if you want to win, then you need to come to breakfast tomorrow morning dressed up for Pirate Day. Pirate Day, all right? Everybody say ARG. Pirate Day tomorrow morning at breakfast, and you need to have a cheer for your cabin. All right, so that is if you're going for Cabin of the Week. And also, everybody, don't forget, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., we're back in here for our morning Bible hour. And make sure that you bring your Bible with you, because we are going to count every single Bible, and whichever team has the most Bibles will win Bible count tomorrow morning. So make sure that you have all the Bibles ready. And last but not least, I want to introduce you to a special group of people, but I have to make an important announcement for you first. Did you guys know our very own Ryan Arnold, who has been with us on the island for so long, ladies and gentlemen, he is going to be getting married. That's right. September 1st, right? September 1st, Ryan Arnold will be getting married. So congratulations to Ryan. And we're excited because he's here all week with this awesome group of people. We call them the Unseen, and they're going to be leading us all week long. So make some noise for the Unseen. Thank you, guys. So glad you can be here. For those of you who I've never met before, my name's Tommy, and I am the camp director here on Word Life Island, but basically all I do is give the announcements. That's really my real job title, is what I hear, the announcements guy. But I'm so excited you guys are here. I know that Ryan already asked this, but I couldn't see, so I'm going to ask you again. Who is here today for the very first time? You've never been on the island before. Wow. Wow, that's awesome. Welcome. Welcome. Anybody here who's never actually been on a real island before? Raise your hand. Oh, wow. Awesome. Well, congratulations. You just killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Your first time on Word Life Island, your first time on a real island. So we are completely 100% surrounded by water. There's no bridges. There's no road or anything. Every single thing that comes on this island comes over on a boat or on the ice in the wintertime, but that's besides the point. So there's a lot of you who are here for the first time. Where are my island veterans at? You guys that have been here for years. Yeah. Well, welcome back. Welcome back to the island veterans, and I'm excited that every single one of you are here, new and old, and we're gonna have an awesome, awesome week. In fact, I believe, and it is our goal, it is my goal as the director, it is the goal of our team, that this week is going to be the best week of your entire summer. And that is what we believe we have to offer for you this week. And I know that we are up against some pretty incredible weeks. I'm sure some of you have been on family vacation, or you've gone to some concerts, or you've been to some amusement park, or you've been someplace and done some awesome, really exciting stuff. But I also know what this week is, and so it is our goal that this is going to be the best week of your entire summer. That at the end of the summer, when school comes back around and you're looking back on the summer and somebody says, what's the highlight of your summer? There will be no doubt in your mind that you will say, my week on Word Life Island. That is what our goal is. And I want to tell you three things you can look forward to this week, and 3 reasons why I believe this is going to be the best week of your summer. The first reason is, in all capital letters, fun, right? Like, we are going to have some serious fun this week. Whether it's the competition between the red team and the blue team, or maybe it's going to be the cabin of the week competition that's going to be going on, or maybe it's going to be the sports competitions, right? B-Rye, like the soccer tournament. We're going to have a good soccer tournament this week, or maybe it's going to be the dodgeball tournament. I don't know, but there's going to be so much fun. We have all kinds of crazy activities planned every single day. We have activities. I mean, where else can you go where there is an entire staff where they have handpicked the most ridiculous people anywhere, and they said, hey, your job is to make this place fun. I mean, that is so unique. We have a whole group of people that is their job. So I'm telling you, this week, we are going to have a ton of fun. There's going to be opportunities, endless opportunities to have fun this week. The second thing is that you can look forward to is adventure. We want you to come here and have an adventure, like do something new, break out of where you're comfortable, break out of your shell, whatever it is. There's going to be so many awesome things. We already showed you there's mountain biking. If you want to try to get a little adrenaline rush and try something new, you can go out on the trails, or maybe you can do the high ropes course and conquer your fear of heights and do an adventure. I don't know what it is going to be for you, but we want you this week to get that feeling of adventure. Like you're doing something new, you're conquering something, you're having to break out of your comfort zone. We want you to have that adventure this week. The third thing is, and probably the most important thing, is learning about God. We want you to have a week where you learn about God. And I know that there are some of you here that you're excited about that, but I also know that some of you here, you're unsure about that one. Maybe you got actually tricked into being here this week, and you didn't know like that this was a place where we're going to talk about God and there's going to be church and stuff. You just thought this was camp that was all about fun and adventure. And so maybe you're a little unsure right now, and that's fine. I know there's some of you who that might be the case out there. But regardless of where you're at, Regardless of if you didn't know this was going to be a church or a camp that had spiritual things, or maybe you came here fully expecting that, we want you to know and to look forward to this week learning about God. And we're going to do it in some really fun ways. We're going to have some incredible times in this room of talking about God and learning about God and singing to God. It's going to be an incredible experience. Specifically, our theme for this summer is fearless. And you've seen that in all the videos and everything that we've been doing. But we're going to specifically, as we're talking about God, we're going to look at this word fearless. And every year we sit down and we say, like, okay, what's going to be the theme for camp next year? And we always kind of toss around different ideas. And we're trying to come up with a theme that's going to be relevant, that's going to be something that you as students sitting there are going to be interested in. And so when this idea of fearless came up, we knew immediately this needed to be our theme, because the world that we live in today and your generation, the generation that you are a part of, faces fear in their life unlike any other generation has before. When I say fear, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because you have faced it on a daily basis and you know its controlling power. Fear has the ability to get control of us like very few other things can, and it determines so much about what we do and how we live and how we act on our day-to-day basis just because we're so afraid. And there's so many different things, and if we had time, I'm sure I could go around to every single one of you and you could tell me things that you are afraid of, serious things that you are afraid of, things that are controlling you. I know for some of us, it's the fear of failure, right? Like, you're so afraid that you're going to let somebody down. You're so afraid that you're not going to measure up. You've seen people crash and burn, and you're so afraid of that happening that you have to work so hard and you do all these things, and it controls you to that end. Others of you are so afraid of just in general what people will think about you. You are consumed every single day, all day, with trying to be somebody that other people are going to like and look at and think is cool and think is good looking, or whatever it is you think is rich, that controls you. It controls everything, what you wear and what you spend your time doing, and those things about you. That's fear. Fear of what people think of you. Others of you, the fear that you face, probably all of you face, is a real fear of danger. In the world we live in today, you can't just go to the mall and have some fun without in the back of your mind that little question popping up, like, is today the day that it happens here? Am I the one today that's going to be on the news later on? Is this today the day for our school? It's a very real thing in the world today. There are terrible people doing terrible things. It seems like every single day something new pops up. Somebody does something terrible to people, innocent people who were just mindlessly going throughout their day, and all of a sudden tragedy strikes because of somebody. That's the world we live in. That's a fear that is very real to all of us as we go throughout our day. So there are so many different things to fear, but there's really only one way to live fearlessly. And we're going to talk about this week. We're going to go on a journey all week long. And every single thing we do throughout the day, we're going to be together in here in the morning, and then there's going to be quiet time and breakout sessions, and there's going to be a time at night. All week long, we're going to kind of go on this journey throughout the week, and we're going to talk about what it means to be fearless. Not really focusing too much on what we're afraid of, because that's going to be different for all of us, but taking the time and looking at what it means to be fearless, to be free from the control of having to live in fear. So I'm really excited about it. I'm more excited about that than any other part of this week, knowing that you will have the opportunity to go on that journey. And ultimately at the end of it, to be free from fear, to live fearlessly. But before we get going too much further, I want to talk real quick. I want to kind of just back up and go back to the beginning, because we have to kind of establish a couple key things. We got to kind of establish a baseline moving forward, because I know there's so many different people in here, and you all come here with varying levels of knowledge of what's going to happen. And some of you have spent time in church, others of you have never been to a church, and that's fine. There's no problem with that. But what we just want to do right now is I want to take a couple minutes, and I want to talk about two main things that are going to be so important for you for the rest of the week. It's like, I don't want you to feel like you're entering into a conversation that's already been going on, and then you're left trying to figure out what we're talking about. I don't know if that's happened to you. I know it's happened to me before. You walk up on your friends talking, and they're halfway through a conversation, and then you're left trying to figure out like what it is they're saying. I don't want that to be the case for anybody in here. So we're going to kind of back up and make sure that we all are on the same page. And we're going to start off, I want to talk to you for a minute about the Bible, because the Bible is a really important piece to what we're going to be doing all week long here. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be here for Bible Hour. We're the whole time, well, not the whole time, but we're going to be talking about this book a lot. And then every night, really every time we're together in here, we're going to be talking about the Bible. And then in quiet time, in breakout sessions. So this is going to be really important piece to this entire week. And it's important for us to know about it moving forward. Some of you maybe have read the Bible a lot. Others of you, you've never read it before. I just want to take a couple minutes and talk to you about the Bible. It's really actually 66 different books that are all compiled into one. And that's why if you do open a Bible, you'll see at the top all the different names of the books of the Bible. 66 different books compiled into one that we call the Bible, written by a ton of different authors. But the reason why we call it God's Word is because we believe those authors were writing to us inspired by God. So the God of the entire universe, who created the world, he created you, he created me, he gave us the Bible. He used men, he used people in history to write down the words, but as they wrote, it was if God was writing to us, and he gave us the Bible. So that's why you're going to hear us call it God's Word a lot. I want to say, take out your copy of God's Word. Open up God's Word. We're talking about the Bible. We use those two words interchangeably because it's what we believe, that the Bible is actually God's words to us. You'll also hear us talk about the Scriptures and some other words, but really what we're talking about is the Bible, which is written by God. The second reason why we're going to talk about the Bible so much is because it's true. The Bible is absolutely true. Every single thing in here we can believe because it's from God. And this is especially valuable to us because in the world, in the day that we live in, we are constantly having to discern between what is true and what is false. We all know this because when you look at a picture now, when you see a picture on your phone, on Instagram, or someplace that you see an incredible picture, you automatically have to ask yourself, is this real or fake? Right? Like, because I'm sure that we've all seen pictures where we're like, oh my word, that's incredible, only then to find out later on that it's been photoshopped and it's not actually a real picture. It's not a real photograph of whatever it is. And so, like, that's a common thing for us. We have to try to figure out what's real and what's fake. The other thing that's really popular right now in the world is fake news, right? We all know about different articles that are constantly popping up in our feed that the headline is fake. And it's not until you click on it that you realize that it's not real. Or maybe even after you're done reading it, you realize this is not a real news article. It's presented to us as if it is real, but you realize it's not. And that's embarrassing when we actually believe that it is. I know that happened to me just recently, and it's very embarrassing, and I hate to admit it, but I believed an article that I read to be true when it was actually false. It was fake news. And so wouldn't it be like so incredible and so valuable to us if there was one place that we could go, that a website that we knew the only thing they ever posted was true? There was never actually any confusion about having to figure out if it was real or not. That would be the only place we'd go for our news, right? I mean, that would be awesome. We wouldn't have to be confused and have to try to figure it out. And that's what the Bible is to us. It represents a place where we can go that we can always know it is true. We never have to try to figure out, we never have to discern for ourselves, is this real or is this fake? Is this a lie or is it true? We can trust that it is true because it's from God. And he didn't write the Bible, he didn't give us the Bible to confuse us or to try to trick us. He gave it to us to help us. And that's the third thing, is it's written for us. We're not reading something that's been written for somebody else and then we just get to kind of look in at it and try to figure out how we can apply it to us. The Bible is written for each and every one of you in this room. God, when he created you, he knew that there was going to be some serious issues that we would face on earth. We knew that there was going to be some real problems. There was going to be some real brokenness. And he wanted to give us what we needed to make it through those things. So he gave us the Bible. He gave us the truth that is his word so that we have what we need to make it through. It's written specifically for you on the journey that you are on. There's a plan for you, and understanding this book is a part of that journey. One last thing I'll say about the Bible, it's really written primarily about one person. It's written about somebody named Jesus. And I don't know where you guys are at on Jesus. Maybe some of you have a relationship with him and you know who Jesus is. Others of you, you know that he's that statue in Rio, right? You've seen that statue before, or you've seen the cross. Maybe you know of Jesus because of Christmas and Easter. Maybe you've heard him for that. Others of you, the only way maybe you've heard of Jesus is just a word that people say when they're upset. But Jesus is a real person. And this book, the Bible, is written about Jesus. Some of the books in here are written specifically about his actual life. Others of the books in here are written looking forward to Jesus and saying, hey, Jesus is going to be coming someday. And then there's some other people that are writing about the teachings of Jesus. But really, this book is written about the person of Jesus. So because this book is so important to us and because we're going to talk about this book, it also makes sense for us to talk about Jesus real quick because he's the central figure of this book. And we're going to talk a lot about Jesus this week. We're going to sing to Jesus. We're going to pray to Jesus. There's going to be a lot of time, a lot of conversation surrounding who Jesus is. So because I know, just like there's different people that come in here on different levels on understanding the Bible, there's different people in here on where you're at with who Jesus is. So I just want to take the next couple minutes and I want to introduce you to who Jesus really is. I'm going to read you one story out of the Bible. Just to try to introduce you, just so you can start to know and understand who Jesus actually is. He's not just a giant statue. He's not just somebody that we talk about at Christmas. He's a real person, and he's got a plan for you this week. So I'm going to read to you this story about Jesus from the Bible. It's in the book of the Bible called Matthew, which is named after the guy who wrote it, whose name was Matthew. And Matthew was one of the guys who had given up his life to follow Jesus around. There was this group of 12 guys, and they all had different occupations, but at one point in all of their lives, Jesus came along, and they could tell, they had heard, and they could tell that Jesus was not a normal person, that he was not just any other guy. And so some of them literally dropped what they were doing, their entire life. They had spent their entire life doing their job, and they dropped it and left and followed after Jesus. And I'm not talking about like followed him on Twitter I'm talking about like actually walked behind him as he went through life. They were there stepping as he stepped behind him because they knew that there was something different about him and they wanted to learn about it. They wanted to see what it was. They wanted to experience what was different about Jesus. And so these guys followed him around, and one of them was named Matthew. And in the Bible, we have a whole book of the Bible that Matthew wrote that talks to us about what he saw and what he witnessed as he was one of Jesus' followers. So Matthew tells us this story about Jesus. It's in the book of Matthew in chapter 8 and in verse 23. I'll put it up here on the screen for you so you can read along. Here's what it says. Jesus got into a boat and his followers went with him. Those guys I was just telling you about, his followers. A great storm arose on the lake so that waves covered the boat, but Jesus was sleeping. His followers went to him and woke him, saying, "Lord, save us, we will drown." And Jesus answered, "Why are you afraid? You don't have enough faith." Then Jesus got up and gave a command to the wind and the waves, and it became completely calm. The men were amazed and said, "What kind of man is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him." So here's what's happening. Jesus and his followers, they get into this boat and they are setting off across this lake. And it's a big lake. And Jesus is tired because he's been teaching and he's been interacting with people all the time. So Jesus is in the back of the boat and he's laying down and he goes to sleep. And his followers are left to drive the boat. And they're going across the lake, and this lake to this day, because of the geographical area around this lake and the mountains and the valleys and the weather patterns, this lake is known for these crazy storms that will just pop up all of a sudden. And they didn't have the weather app back then to know. So that here they are going across the lake, and all of a sudden this storm pops up out of nowhere, and it is a crazy storm. The Bible tells us that the waves are crashing up to the sides of the boat. The water is coming up as high as the sides of the boat. And you don't have to be super smart to know that a boat only works as long as there's more water outside of it than inside of it. And so as the waves are crashing up to the side and the water's coming inside of the boat now, the boat is starting to sink. And so these perfectly normal grown adults, many of whom had spent their lives on the water, are scared to the point where they feel like they're going to drown if nothing changes. The storm is so big and so bad in their lives that they realize that unless something happens, the boat's going to sink and we're going to be lost at sea. So they decide we've got to wake up Jesus. There's something different about Jesus. There's something special about him. First of all, he's asleep in the middle of this storm. Second of all, we've been following him around and we know there's something different about him. So let's wake him up and see what he says, what he can do, if he has any advice for us. So they do. They wake up Jesus, and they tell him, it says, "Lord, save us, we will drown." And Jesus, what he says to them, "Why are you afraid? You don't have enough faith." And then he got up and he gave a command to the wind and the waves, and it became completely calm. He gave one command, "Be still," and all of a sudden the waves that were crashing up so high that it felt like the boat was going to sink, in a split second the waves went from being that tall to completely calm. And the wind that was howling and that was so out of control, that was driving the boat around and pushing it all around, that same wind in that same instant became completely calm. It's no surprise because we know that Jesus is somebody special, and we know that Jesus actually is the God who created the wind and the waves. But to these followers of Jesus, imagine the amazement on their face as one minute they felt like they were going to drown, and then they wake up Jesus, and the next minute the storm is completely gone. And the Bible tells us, it says, the men were amazed, and they said, "What kind of man is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him." And I know a lot of you in your life this week, you came here this week, but behind you, where you came from, your life, in your day-to-day life back home, there are some crazy storms that are going on. In the boat that you are in your life, there are some wild waves that are happening. And there are some storms that have come up. And I know that some of you actually came here this week and you feel like if nothing changes, it's just a matter of time before that boat sinks and you're lost at sea. There are crazy circumstances. There are crazy things happening in your family, or there's terrible things happening at your school, or whatever it is. I know that there are storms happening in your life. But God's brought you here this week. God planned for you to be here this week on Word Life Island. And you know, he brought you here for a lot of fun and a lot of adventure, but he brought you here so that you can experience peace and calm in your life. Now, I'm not talking about literally, it's not going to actually be calm, right? I mean, you guys were all in here earlier, and it was the opposite of calm. It was crazy, and it was hype, and that's what we're going to do all week long. But I'm talking about in your circumstances in your life, in the spiritual life that you are living. He's brought you away from those things, those circumstances, those distractions, and he's brought you here this week into a week of peace and calm. He's got you out of those things. My question to you is, how are you going to use this time? Because you can use this time, this peace and the calm, and not having to worry about those storms. You can take that and you can funnel all of that into just making this a super fun week. It won't be hard. It's going to be a super fun week. Or you can take that peace and the calm and the break that you have from those storms, and you can use this week to do like the disciples did. They looked to Jesus and they were amazed. They looked to Jesus and they said, you're the reason why there's this calm in the storm right now, and that's incredible. There's something that is different about Jesus. There's something that makes him special, that gives him the ability to control the wind and the waves. And so they looked to Jesus and they said, I got to figure out what it is. My challenge to you this week is that you would do that. As you come here and you experience the calm and you experience the peace, use this as an opportunity to look to Jesus. If you already have a relationship with him, that's awesome. This week will be an incredible time for you to grow closer to him. If you don't, and you don't know who Jesus is, this week will be the opportunity for you to begin that relationship. But only if you use this opportunity to look to him. Let me pray for you guys, and then we'll move on with our night. Lord, we're so thankful for this week. We love your word, and it's going to be an awesome time as we get to study it all week. And God, I pray for every student in here, every student that you brought here this week for a specific reason, because you want to work on their heart, because you want to get to know them. You want a relationship with each of them. God, I pray that you would help us to have a ton of fun, but more importantly, that this week would be a life-changing week. That you would do your work here this week. Lord, I pray that you would watch over all these campers. You'd keep them safe and healthy. Help us to have a ton of fun. Lord, thank you that we can have ice cream tonight. Thank you for all the fun activities that we have. We love you. We're going to give you the glory because you're the only one who deserves any of it. We ask these things in your name. Amen. All right, don't forget, Top of the Rock is open tonight. Escape the Room is going on. All of those things are open for you. Thank you guys very much. You are dismissed.